Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Mahalo, Evan. Today's guest is Colbert Matsumoto, Chairman and CEO of Island Insurance Company Limited. Colbert serves as a director of Central Pacific Bank, Aloha Airlines, Star Bulletin, and MidWeek, and numerous others. Please welcome to Greater Good Radio, Colbert Matsumoto. Welcome to our show, Colbert.
Hi, Carrie.
So, Colbert, could you tell me exactly what you do for your job with Island Insurance?
Well, I'm the chairman and CEO of the company. And so in my role as chairman and CEO, I basically oversee the business. Our company has been in business for almost 70 years in Hawaii now. And my job is to make sure that the company is operating properly and is meeting our shareholders' expectations.
So when you say operating properly, what is your average daily like, your activities and things that you do?
Well, most of my day is spent in meetings. So I spend a lot of time meeting with different managers as well as people that we do business with. And so, you typically have a breakfast meeting, and, there'll be a whole series of meetings that follow that. And in addition to that, I'm on the phone a lot too. So basically, my life is spent communicating with people.
So how do you get rid of getting bogged down by just meeting and meeting and meeting?
Well, I like to try to reserve some time so that I can actually collect my thoughts and kind of think during the day. And so, I'll block off some time during the course of the day so that I can try to get some other work done, like, reading my mail and sending out some emails and doing some other things. But I find my time mostly spent talking to people. And
do you find it difficult to organize in your mind, like, what you're talking about and different meetings? Because when Evan and I go into different meetings on a daily basis, it's exhausting. It's hard to keep organized in your mind what the meeting's about and what your focus is and who you're talking to. And, so how was it for you? Because you're also involved with so many nonprofits as well.
I guess I've been pretty fortunate in that I've been able to compartmentalize, my different activities pretty well. And so as a consequence, I usually prepare before I go into any meeting. But I'm able to, collect my thoughts and keep my focus as to, what it is that I'm in the meeting for and what my objectives in terms of accomplishing something during the course of that meeting.
So can you tell us about how you were born and raised in Lanai and ended up over here and started as an attorney and now run an insurance company?
Well, that's a story that starts with my grandparents, because my grandparents were immigrants from Japan, and they were the first ones to settle in Lanai back in the early 20s. And my parents they weren't born on Lanai. They moved to Lanai from other islands with my grandparents, but they grew up on Lanai. And so I'm basically third generation, and I was born on the island, and my parents both worked for the pineapple company, and I worked for the pineapple company for that matter when I was growing up as a kid until I went to college.
And you have no pidgin accent, though.
Oh, it can come out, if I like.
Okay. I was just checking. I got to make sure,
So when you were growing up, did you have these big aspirations about what you wanted to do, be an attorney, be a CEO? Did you have those goals?
Actually, being a CEO of a company was the furthest thing from my mind. I didn't even think it was something that was possible because, I grew up on the plantation where, we had a part of the plantation that was called Howley Camp. It was also known as Snob Hill because that was where all the plantation bosses lived. And it was considered a very exclusive area. And, typically the people that lived in the laborers' camp, didn't move up to Howley Camp. And so it was certainly something that I didn't expect to do and didn't aspire to do when I was growing up in Lanai. I did, however, go to college with the intention of becoming a teacher. And so that was what my objective was when I first went to school.
So how did you switch to law?
Well, what happened was that when I went to college, I had majored in sociology and with the intention of becoming a social studies teacher. But one summer when I came home to work, I got a job at the Sears warehouse, and working with me on the night shift were like 3 other guys who had graduated from UH with teaching degrees, and they couldn't find jobs because the DOE wasn't hiring that year. And so at that time, I realized that I probably wouldn't find a job in teaching either and needed to consider other career choices. So at that point, I wasn't interested in becoming a social worker or pursuing graduate studies in sociology. So I said, well, maybe I'll apply to law school. So that's what I ended up doing.
But what interested you about being a social studies teacher?
Well, I had some great teachers growing up in Lanai. And so, I think that, teaching really seemed like something that would be very personally satisfying and rewarding to get involved with. And so that was the reason why I wanted to get into it. Basically because, I had met people that I think had influenced my life in a very positive way. And I thought that teaching was a good outlet for me to be able to try to do the same for other people.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.